Okay, here's a look at my solar setup from the inside here. We've got the batteries, 8 12 volt AGM batteries set up for a 48 volt bank at 200 amp hours. We got our Midnight Classic charge controller here. We're in absorb mode here at about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. We've got my new Midnight DC shut off here with a 175 amp breaker. For the fairly new Outback GS4048A, I've had it for a few months, but I just recently got it wired into a sub panel. Got the Outback Mate 3 here, showing what's going on here. It's showing the loads in the sub panel are 1.7 kilowatts. We're buying 1.5 of that, and we're inverting 0.2 or 200 watts roughly. So the way I've got it set up now, I'm in grid zero mode, and I told it to only invert if the batteries are at 58.8 or higher, which is essentially what I'm absorbing at. So any extra energy right now is just being put back into the house, and as the batteries get more and more charged and need less energy going into them to maintain the absorb voltage, they will invert more. So I've got my battery meter here, and that's showing how many watts it's taking to hold them at the charge setting right now. We're at about 94%, and that number will keep dropping there as we go. And what it's going to do again, it's going to invert any of that excess power back into the house, which is pretty nice. So the sub panel I've got here, just bought it recently, is a Reliance Q510C. It's got replaceable breakers. So I've got one 240 volt breaker, the rest are 120s. The 240 is for my water pump. You can see it there with the connected switch on the top. And everything else is 120. So this thing up here, my shadow's getting in the way, but you can see there the switches on the top. There's generator, off, or line. So right now everything is in generator mode, which is essentially means that power is feeding through the inverter. And again, it can pass through regular AC power or invert power from the batteries too. Alright, so loads just dropped in the house. We got a 600 watt load, buying 400, inverting 200. I'll try and show you the menu here without, it'll be shaky, but we'll do the best I can here. I'm going to go into the grid zero control menu, and the options you have to set here are the DOD volts, which again is at 58.8 now. So if it's at or above that, it's going to invert as much power as it can to maintain that voltage. In DOD amps, which is at 2 amps at 240 volts, so I'm going to bump that up to 3, although I probably can't take advantage of that much today. And that would allow it to invert up to 3 amps at 240 volts. Now we'll go back to the main screen. Whoops. And again, it's showing the same thing. Oh, one other screen that I just found today. If you hit this, it'll show you on each phase. This is L1. It's inverting 100 watts. Load is 300. L2 is the same. So we're pretty well balanced right now. And I'll go back to this other screen again. Sorry for the shakiness, but holding a tablet and doing this at the same time is not easy. So that's a quick overview of Grid Zero and the Radian inverter, which is working pretty nice. Anything that comes on, water pump, toaster oven, microwave, because this is set to only invert up to a set number of amps, the grid power takes the load, and in my testing so far today, it's all been pretty seamless. That's it. Thanks.